The 25th Hour Radio Show.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the 25th Hour Radio Show here on Monster Radio, AM 1150. I am your host, Rob Fairless, and on the phone with me today is country music singer-songwriter Ashley Campbell. Ashley, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to join me on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Rob.
No problem. Ashley, let's just start off with the traditional first question here. Now, this might seem silly to some out there listening because you are the daughter of Glen Campbell, but how did you end up pursuing a career in music? I mean, because if I read correctly on your bio, that's not what you started off wanting to pursue. You were a theater major in college, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I was a theater major in college, and I also played guitar and piano at the time, but then junior year, I got asked to learn banjo for a play that I was cast in. And so once I started playing banjo, it kind of flipped a switch for me. And I, right after I graduated from college, my dad asked me to go on tour with him. So that's kind of how I got started.
Now, is it true you didn't first start writing your own songs until the banjo came into the picture? I mean, you were, like you mentioned, playing piano and acoustic guitar before that. What was it about the banjo that brought out the songstress in you?
I think it was connecting to the heritage of the instrument and the Americana vibe and how deeply rooted in our culture, like old school culture, that the banjo is. It just kind of brought out it just opened some windows in my soul, for lack of a cheesier term. Yeah. I don't know, something just happened and I started writing songs with the banjo.
So I guess as a theater major, it must feel pretty natural for you to perform in front of a crowd. Am I correct on that? I mean, is there a difference in performing musically as opposed to acting on stage? I mean, is there different nerves you have to fight off to prepare yourself for the performance?
Yeah, well, it definitely feels different because in acting, you're playing a character, but on stage, when you're playing your own music, you're playing yourself and there's nothing to hide behind. So it's a little more nerve-wracking than just acting for me, but it's still, I look at each song as telling a story, so I kind of turn myself into my own character for each song.
Now, I ask this question to a lot of musicians, and I want to get your take on it. As an up-and-coming solo artist, getting discovered, being signed to a label are like major turning points in someone's career, the big break moments, right? Being that you were already in the public eye for who you were, was it tougher on you to distinguish yourself as a solo artist and get signed to that record label?
I don't know how if I would say it was tough on me. What's tough is just even if you do get signed to a big label, which I did, that doesn't necessarily mean it's your big break yet. You still have to put in all the work. And I was with Big Machine label group for about 2 years, and I learned a lot there. And now I have no label once again, but I've just made my first record, and I'm about to come out with it this year, and I'm just super excited about it. So it's, big break doesn't ever necessarily mean big break. It's always just keep putting in the work,
Yeah, you
and
can
hopefully
continue to work.
Pays off.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, about your new album here, you do have a single out right now titled Remembering, which is a very, touching tribute to your father. For those out there listening right now who haven't got a big taste of your music, how would you describe the type of sound that's inside you that you're trying to express in your upcoming music? You did mention Americana, but I'm going to let you go into more detail on that.
Yeah, well, so I come from a country background. Obviously my dad is a, legendary country music star. So I grew up around country, but I also didn't really grow up around the country culture. I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, and West Coast, California kind of thing. So I feel like there's two parts of me that come together in my music, which is the country and the old school and the Americana and the banjo aspect. And then there's like an edgier, more modern sound that comes in into my music. So I think that's going to be reflected in my album.
Speaking of your album, you said it was finished, or are you still working on it?
It is almost finished. We just did 2 days of recording, Monday and Tuesday. So
now, do you have an idea on when that album could be released? I mean, are you close on that, or you still have a ways to go?
It all depends on what happens after we finish it and, where we're going to take it. But I'm hoping it'll be out sometime this summer.
Now, since you are working on your album, is that all you're focusing on right now, or are you still getting out and performing?
Yeah, right now I've just been focusing on recording, but I'm definitely looking to book a lot of shows this year and go out and play shows everywhere. So definitely looking forward to that.
Now, is the band already preparing for a promotional tour with this album? Will that go along with the release, you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, will it be a nationwide tour, you think, or are we talking global, or is that just too far ahead in the future to think about?
Yeah, it's a little too soon to be talking about that, but I'm definitely planning on trying to get over to the UK a couple times this year.
Now, as far as completely outside of music, what do you enjoy doing? I mean, do you have any hobbies or activities you use as a way to just get away from all the hustle and bustle of real life?
Yeah, well, I'm very interested in fitness, and so I do a lot of working out when I'm at home. I like to do kickboxing and weightlifting and yoga. And then at home, I just love to cook. It's my favorite thing. I like to get in the kitchen, turn on some music, and cook a big dinner for my family.
Oh, okay. I see you're a cook. All right. What would you consider to be your favorite food or perhaps your specialties when you're in the kitchen?
I cook some pretty good Italian food. My favorite food is a close tie between Indian food and Japanese food.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what about television shows and stuff like that and music that you listen to? I would kind of be interested in knowing what types of music you listen to.
Yeah, well, I have a very wide variety of tastes in music. Lately, I've been really, getting into Beck's albums. I love Beck as an artist, and I've been obsessed with his album Sea Change. And I think that was from 2002, so it's surprising to me that I'm just now getting into it.
Well, that's cool. That's good music. So what about social media or websites? I mean, do you have a favorite social media spot where people can find you hanging out on more often?
Yeah, Instagram, definitely. I'm on Instagram every day and posting stuff. And
what's your Instagram handle? What's your how do they find you there?
Instagram handle is AshCam Banjo. That's ASHCAM Banjo.
So what about any upcoming shows or any personal appearances? Are you doing anything like that? I know you played at the Opry not too long ago. Are you going to be playing anywhere else anytime soon?
Nothing on the books right now until June, but I'm hoping to get some dates. It's early in the year still.
Yeah. And before we wrap this up, I always give my guests the opportunity to say a few words to all the people out there listening. So, Ashley, is there anything you'd like to say to current fans and possibly new fans of your music before we start to sign off here?
Yeah. I guess this is a big year for me of kind of following my gut and following my passion. So if you have a passion in your life that you believe in, just do it your way and don't let anyone else tell you what you should be. That's my advice.
That's perfect. Ashley, thank you once again for taking a few moments out of your day to be with me on the show. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks. Yeah.
The 25th Hour Radio Show.